Hello, and welcome to Verbling. Hi there, I'm Teacher Oakley, and for the next hour, we will continue our series, Learning Collocations in English. Collocations are words that are commonly spoken together, such as adjectives and noun combinations, adverbs and adjectives, verbs and object nouns. Sometimes they're very strong collocations. They become compound nouns. We may also look at some expressions, colloquial expressions, possibly a few idioms along the way. Our focus today in collocations class is going to be sports. So put on your helmet and your shin guards, and away we go. We will be reading some different types of material and talking about the collocations that come up in the material. And then if we have a little time at the end of the class, we will maybe do some exercises to test what we've learned. Okay, let me start by welcoming students to the class. Hi, Senia. Good to see you again.
Hello, good to see you too.
Thank you. And also welcome Mustafa. Hey, Mustafa. How are you today?
Hello, teacher. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. What's about you?
Good. I'm doing well. Thanks. Okay. Also, Santiago has joined us again. Hey, Santiago.
Hello,
Hi. Hey, how's it going?
everything's fine. What about you?
It's all good. It's all good. Doing well. Thanks. And also, let me welcome Constantine. Hi, Constantine.
Hello, I'm here.
Hi. Hi, welcome to the class. All right, and Sasha has joined us. Hi, Sasha.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. How are you?
Pretty good, all things considered. Okay, today's collocation class, sports. So is our topic. So I'm going to do a screen share, and we're gonna read various types of material today and talk about the collocations therein. First of all, actually, I'm going to present you with a little table here, the very basics of sport collocation. All right, a little bit confusing for our English language learners. I'm just going to go over this one myself and present this to you here. Do, play, go. Okay, you do. Gymnastics, judo, weightlifting, yoga, archery. Okay, you do things in general. To put it in another way, a way to think about it. Generally, the activities, some are sports, some are close to sports. But anyway, you do activities in general, things that you might take classes for or go to the gym for. So
Really, you should that.
you do karate, you do aerobics, okay, weightlifting. This is a one way to think about it, an easy way to kind of categorize it. You do things that you take classes for, you might go to the gym for. Okay. Thanks, Constantine's wife or whoever you are. Thank you. That was nice. Okay. Okay, continuing. You do things that you go to the gym or maybe you take classes. You play. You play games. You also play hockey, baseball, basketball. You play badminton. Anything that's a game, dominoes, chess, darts, you play. Also, you play pretty much anything that is a team sport. You play basketball. Okay. You go, here it's easy. Go, ing. Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Thank you. If there's a, generally, but not completely, if there's a ball, you play. However, bowling has a big, really heavy ball. So there's a couple exceptions. That's another way to think about it, if it's a game or if there's a ball. But remember, there are exceptions. You don't play bowling. Anything with ing, actually, you go. Go bowling, go skateboarding, go hang gliding, whatever. There's a couple of crossovers, like golf. Let's go play golf. Let's go golfing. Let's play golf today. Let's go golfing. There's a couple of things that cross over. If it has an ing form, okay, then there's usually crossover. Okay, you go to a lot of things that you do in a gym, a lot of things that you do. You do aerobics, judo, karate. Well, you have to go somewhere to do those things, a gym or a class or something. So you go to things that you do. Okay, these are real basic, real super strong collocations, and when you mix it up, it sounds weird. If somebody says, I like to play skiing, it sounds really strange. I want to do bowling this weekend. It sounds weird. So these are very strong collocations that you really, really need to learn this and lock into this. Okay, enough of that. Error warnings. Okay. All right, related to sport. Okay, you do a sport or you play a sport. You definitely can't make a sport. Makes no sense at all. You do exercises. You don't play exercises. You don't make exercises. You play games, computer games or other games. You don't do games. That's a very common mistake. Cards, playing cards, card games. You can have a game of cards, or you can play cards. You don't need, when you use have, you have a game of cards. Let's have a game of cards. When you play, let's play cards. You don't need to say a game. But again, not make and not do. Even though I realize cards are a game, this is a little bit of an exception. You don't do cards. You don't do games. Well, you don't do games either. Okay, you go skiing, not make skiing. All right, you do activities, not make, not practice. Okay. Okay, the word practice. All right, if you're an athlete, sports person, athlete, let's address that. Americans use the term athlete pretty much universally all the time, but Brits, you may hear sports person, or that's very PC, politically correct, of course. You might hear sportsman or sports person. However, for Americans, a sportsman has a different meaning. For Americans, a sportsman is somebody who does outdoor sports like sailing or mountaineering or fishing and hunting. These types of activities are sportsman activities for an American. British use a much more wide idea of sportsman, and a much narrower idea of an athlete. For British people, an athlete is somebody who does basically track and field, specifically. So that's a big difference between American and British concept of those two words. They're a bit different. Okay. Practice your sport. Usually, practice is like you go to practice. When you're in high school and you're on a sports team, you go to practice. We don't say he's practicing today. We say my son is at soccer practice. We don't say my son is practicing soccer. I don't know why, but there it is. We just would never say it that way. He's at soccer practice. I have to pick him up from soccer practice. If we want to talk about the actual physical activity, we usually use train. Okay. Okay, but you can practice, all right, individual skills, like practice taking a penalty shot if you're a football player. Okay, any questions about this? All this material everything I just said are very strong. The do, play, go, very strong collocations and just basically rules. All right. Any questions about that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
For example, if I want to say, is it correct to say I play soccer?
Yeah, I play soccer. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Going back to play, again, you can kind of think of it as games or balls. Anything with a ball, and unless it has an ing, like bowling, and then anything with ing is go. All right. Basic guideline. Okay, let's read this piece here about winning and losing, and we'll talk about things as they come up. We're just going to take turns reading a sentence or two. Senia, can you read this first sentence here?
Sportsmen and sportswomen wants to win matches, not lose matches.
Yeah, okay. Well, obviously. Again here, instead of this sportsmen and sportswomen, Americans would say what, Senia?
Athletes.
That's it. Thank you. You were paying attention. Good for you. Gold star. Athletes want to win matches. Obviously, they do. Whatever. What else could you say besides matches, Senia?
Games.
Yes, exactly. Equally strong, I think. Win games, win matches, win competitions as well. Okay, very good. All right, Mustafa, can you read the next until the end of the paragraph, please?
Okay, but you can't win all the time. Sometimes a team or a player deserves to win, but gets narrowly beaten.
All right. Okay, deserves to win. This would be a common phrase to use in English. Mustafa, what would be the opposite?
Deserve to win. Didn't deserve to win. He's not deserve to win, yeah.
That's right. Okay. Sometimes when a player, okay, let's use an example. Let's take tennis, for example. If referee made a bad call or something happened because he slipped because there was water on the court or something like that. If somebody lost the game because of something that wasn't their fault, a referee's call or nature. Mustafa, do you have any idea how we could express that in English?
No, not yet.
No. Okay. For example, in tennis, it's a person. Oh, you might say he was robbed. This would be very common. Or a team, they were robbed. This is very common. Okay. Oh, it wasn't. Oh, Team A didn't deserve to win. Team B was robbed. So this is very common to hear those two phrases together.
Oh, maybe you can say they stole the game from that team, maybe.
Okay. Now, yes, you can. Now that's a strong collocation, but it has a slightly different meaning. I'm glad you said that. Okay, they stole the game, or they stole the match. Okay, now interestingly, that's slightly different. They stole the game probably means, okay, for example, Team A was winning the football match 3-0, but Team B came back in the last 10 minutes and scored 4 goals. They stole the game. Okay, usually that refers to a comeback. Okay, a big comeback, or maybe not, maybe a really close game where it's tied all the way through. And sometimes in that case we use the same phrase. Oh, they stole the game. They won at the last second, or it appeared the other team was going to win through 95% of the contest. So actually, I'm glad you brought that one up, because that's a very strong collocation, a very strong phrase. Yeah, thanks. I might have forgotten that one. Okay, obviously, narrowly defeated or narrowly beaten, Mustafa. What was the score? Maybe.
Maybe 2-1.
There you go.
For example, yeah.
Yeah, or basketball, it was 101-100 in overtime, like that. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Santiago. From next paragraph from before.
Okay. Before they go enter a competition, athletes train hard.
Okay. Now, I have to say that for me, go in for a competition is very strange. I've never heard that, so it must be very British, is what that tells me. Because every American would say entered a competition. He sometimes entered. You can enter a tournament, or enter a race, or enter a competition. Any of those, but entered is the normal verb to use for any of those things. Okay. Santiago, they train hard. What does that mean?
Well, it means when you are doing a lot of exercise to prepare for a competition, when you are working very hard.
Working very hard. Mm-hmm. And not just strength training, but practice skills training. By the way, you can say that as well. Skills training. By the way, okay. When we talk about training and athletes, really we can talk about strength training, and that's basically exercising, lifting weights, running, and all of that. But then we can also talk about skills training, like how to head the ball, how to take a penalty shot, how to clear the ball properly on the left wing, whatever. Those kinds of things. Specific things. Specific skills, obviously. Okay. Okay. All right, let's move on. Let's see here. Okay, from they probably. Constantine, can you read from here?
Probably. What does it mean?
What's that?
What's that? I can explain in English. I know this word, but way probably. Okay?
They probably.
Or whole sentence.
Yeah,
You
the
mean,
whole sentence, please. Yes.
They train 5 times a week.
Okay. Well, you can read the whole sentence. They probably attend or do.
Or do at least 5 training sessions a week.
There you go. Okay. All right. Okay. So attend. sure. Attend or do is more likely. Also have would also be a strong collocation. They have 5 training sessions a week. Not sure about the Brits, but Americans would say, oh, that they have 5 practices a week. The actual, okay, we're going to go out on the field and practice for 4 hours. That is a practice. We had a practice on Tuesday and another one on Wednesday, and then we had an extra practice Wednesday night. Okay, like a session. But it's just referred to as a practice. Like that. Okay, so if at least Americans just normally say we had 3 practices this week. We have an extra practice on Saturday. That's it. They're talking, and when they say have a practice, they're talking about a training session, a length of time where you practice.
And sorry, teacher.
Yeah.
It makes difference if I say take or the same meaning.
If you say take,
Yeah.
you take a practice?
Mm-hmm.
No, you would never say that. You can, for example, Mustafa, you can take a practice shot, or you can take some practice foul shots, but that's very specific. Okay. I can say he practiced foul shots for 2 hours yesterday. But if I'm going to use take, that would be for something like that. Take a shot, usually. It would be associated with shooting at the goal. He took 20 practice penalty kicks. Take is used for sports, but nothing to do with practice other than practicing shooting, actually, very specific. Okay?
Okay. As Sasha said in the chat box, take classes. So how can I say have classes? I have classes.
Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay.
But you cannot say take a practice or take a training session.
Okay.
You can take a class, that's absolutely true. But it's a little different with sports. You can't take practice or take a training session. So, okay. All right. Moving on, Sasha. Next from They're Likely.
They are likely to put up a fight to gain/get a place in the next stage/round of the competition.
Okay, put up a fight. Okay. Strangely enough, I think we use this one in the negative more than we do in the positive. Maybe not. Usually, when we say this, it means that not just normal effort, but extraordinary effort. Oh, they really put up a fight. You would often hear it with an adverb. Okay, or I don't know what happened. They didn't even put up a fight, negatively. Okay, the meaning, well, I guess I just said it. The meaning being that they, positively, that they made extra effort, negatively, that they made no effort. Nobody really says it just neutrally. It doesn't really work. Okay, they want to get a place or gain a place. Okay. Okay, Sasha, do you know, well, okay, you probably don't know. Do you know another way to say this?
Gain a place.
Gain or get? Instead of a place.
And I didn't understand actually to put up a fight. What?
Okay.
Work hard.
What?
Sorry, Mustafa?
Work hard, maybe? The first one.
Yeah, work hard. Work hard, yeah. Put in a lot of effort, put up a fight. And you can use it for anything. Basketball team, a bowler, a ping pong player. It doesn't really matter. If they really were hard to beat, they put up a fight. if they worked really hard, even they may lose. A team or an individual may lose, but you would say, wow, he really put up a fight. In other words, you're acknowledging that he did not give up is really what you're acknowledging. They never gave up. He was behind 20-1, and he really put up a fight. He wouldn't, we might even say he wouldn't lie down. And not just about boxing either. A soccer team, they wouldn't lie down. They wouldn't quit. They never quit. They kept trying their hardest. So it's akin to that. Okay. Anyway, Sasha, you understand the idea?
To be honest, not sure. Maybe it's just, I don't know, actually, really.
Well, they made an
Okay,
effort. If I say they didn't put up a fight, I mean they didn't try. It was obvious. The soccer players were walking up the field on defense. They didn't even put up a fight. They didn't try. No effort. All right? They really put up a fight. They were running every single second of the game. Like that. Maybe that helps.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Now you can get a place or gain a place.
To deserve?
No. No, not exactly. You can also, okay, if you win, for example, in a tournament and you win, you lose, you go home. You win, you go on to the next round or the next stage. You can get a place in the next round. You can get a berth, okay, in the next round. Very often you will hear get a spot or even get a playoff spot or gain a playoff spot, either one. Okay. And the Cleveland Cavaliers have gotten a playoff spot. In fact, if before the regular season is over, there's no way mathematically they are in the next round of competition if they're in the playoffs. The playoffs are the tournament for the champion, okay? If they're even in the regular, what's called the regular season, and they already mathematically cannot be defeated, cannot be pushed out of the playoffs, then they have clinched a playoff or clinched a playoff berth, clinched a playoff spot. Okay, so in most sports, in English, you have a regular season, and then if you do well enough, you make it to the playoffs. And by the way, you make it to the playoffs. And then, of course, you're playing for the championship. If you're in the playoffs, every team that makes the playoffs has a chance to win the championship, number one. Okay, and usually the playoffs have several stages or rounds. Okay, so for example, in one round, American college basketball, it's called March Madness. 64 teams play. In the next round, there's 32 teams, and then 16. We call it the Sweet 16 round, and then the next round there's 8, and then it's called the Final Four. Make it to the next round, and then the semis, and then the finals. Okay, those are different rounds of the competition. Okie doke. Moving on. Senior.
Teacher,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Shoot.
About the playoff. Okay, so for example, like if the game maybe there are two teams and they ended up the final game, champion game, 0. Okay, 0-0. So that's at that point we can say they have to play maybe playoff two extra time. Okay. to get the result of that game. At that point, like playoff, like to decide the
Yeah,
final result of the game.
because it's the playoff and you're ultimately trying to crown, and there's a collocation for you, crown the champion. Okay, you're trying to choose the best person and one and only one champion. You're trying to crown a champion. Playoffs will have some mechanism whether that in football it may be penalty kicks, in basketball it's an extra 2 minutes of overtime, and then if they in basketball, for example, after 2 minutes they're still tied, then you have double overtime, and if they're still tied, triple overtime. I have seen a playoff game where it went into 4 overtimes. Okay, once you're in the playoffs, there's no such thing as a tie. Even if there is a tie in the regular season, there are no ties in the playoffs. I guess soccer does have ties, but that's basically
I don't understand ties.
tie 0-0, as you mentioned.
Okay.
100 to 100 tie. Yeah. Ultimately, there is no tie. It's one of the reasons I love baseball. There are no ties, and the home team gets a chance. No matter if the other team's ahead, they get a chance to go to play again. I once went to a baseball game with 24 innings. It lasted like 7 hours. Again, they just wouldn't lie down. They really put up a fight. Okay? There you go. They just would not give up. And boy, were the fans drunk after that, I'll tell you. 7 hours stuck in the ballpark. Nothing to eat but hot dogs. Nothing to drink but beer. It was horrible. Okay. Anyway, moving on. All right. I think Senia, can you take over?
Of course, a sport person's ultimate aim is to break the world record in the sport.
Okay. Right, and that is a ridiculously strong collocation. I guess you could say beat the world record. No, you can't. That just sounds weird. This is the only way to say this. This is the only verb. You break the world's record. Senia,
Yes?
in some sports, particularly track and field, there are 2 world records. Why is that? 2 world records for the same event. Okay?
Women and men.
Oh,
Women
yeah,
and men.
I didn't even think about that. Okay, there are 4. Oops. Silly me. Of course, women and men's. But let's say the 100-meter sprint, 100-meter dash. Why are there 2 men's world records? Do you know?
It's in different cases, in a sport game events or in a usual, maybe in their usual life. So maybe one day they want to break a record and they ask to record him. No?
No, that's not it. Does anybody know why? Like, especially in track and field, there are 2 world records. Nobody? Aha! Because in some sports that can be either indoors or outdoors, there is an indoor record and an outdoor record. It's a new indoor record. It's a new outdoor record. Okay, a little bit of a trick question there. But yeah, check it out. There are actually 2 world records in some sports because they have the indoor and the outdoor. I guess because of the factors of weather. Okay, Mustafa.
I'm sorry, but I don't understand. And indoor cover record. Like, what do you mean exactly? Like, The different of the maybe stadium or what?
Inside with a roof. You know, you're inside your house right now. There's a roof and
Okay.
walls. You're
Okay.
inside, as
Okay.
opposed to you're out in the middle of a field under the sunshine. Indoors, outdoors. That's it.
And how can that be related to the sport?
Well, for example, I gave a 100-meter dash. Okay, there is an indoor world record and an outdoor world record. Sometimes these events are held inside a building in an amphitheater. So I suppose the factors of humidity, wind, definitely outdoor track records are, if you have a tailwind. Do you know what a tailwind is, Mustafa? A plane can have a
No.
tailwind. Okay, that's a wind blowing towards your back. It's actually pushing you. Oddly enough, I watched some track and field last weekend myself, and I actually got to see this in action. They had a headwind. Okay, there's a tailwind and a headwind. A tailwind, the wind is blowing from behind you and it's moving in a direction forward. It actually pushes you. A headwind pushes against you. So you may not think that this is a factor, but it is an enormous factor. It's a huge factor for planes that are flying. A plane that has a tailwind will use half the amount of fuel of a plane that has a strong headwind, going the same distance. It takes more energy, and nobody makes a world record when you have a headwind. It's just not even physically possible. Okay? So being outside and running 100 meters, you have the factor of possibly wind. It makes an enormous difference, as opposed to being inside with a roof in a closed environment. And a temperature outside, also the temperature could be 45 degrees. Inside, it's going to be a perfect temperature, no wind, no humidity. Okay? So that's why they give 2 world records, indoor and outdoor. No bugs. Yeah, that too.
So it dawned on me like this is only for a specific kind of sport.
Yes, that's what I said. Very specific kinds of sports, especially track. That's why I said especially track and field, where this kind of thing would be a big factor. Right. In some sports, it wouldn't make any difference. You know, in a soccer game a football match where you switch sides halfway through the game, you switch ends so that both teams get to experience the tailwind or the headwind. Who cares then? It doesn't make any difference whether it's inside or outside. So, right. Specific sports.
Okay.
Okay, and is that Santiago? Is that you? Open air? No, we don't say open air.
I mean, if open air record could be the same.
I suppose it would mean the same thing, but I don't know. In English, there is only indoor record, outdoor record, or indoor world record, outdoor world record. There is no other way to say it. That's extremely strong collocation. It's like world record. You can't change world record. You can't say earth record or planet record. It's world record only.
Okay.
So, okay. Okay. All right. Mustafa, I think it's your turn.
Okay. If they succeed, they set a new world record and become a world record holder. Okay.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's the verb you use. You don't make a new world record. You don't do a new world record. You don't take a new world record. That's it. Very strong collocation. Set a record. Okay, so that's and then you're a record holder. Not a record
Yeah,
keeper. Nothing else. These are very strong collocations. Mustafa, sorry.
Yeah, because maybe we cannot say like it would be like confusing if we say like they record a new world record. Two records would be. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. He recorded a new world record. No, that does sound weird. Yeah. Okay. You're right, and would never say that. I never even thought of that. Never occurred to me to say that because I've never heard it. Okay. Moving on, Santiago.
Okay. They are sure to come up against fierce, intense competition as they try to achieve their ambitions.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about this first. Phrasal verb. This is this is a 3-word phrasal verb. Santiago, come up against.
I think it means to face
Good. Yes.
an opponent.
Face or to meet.
Opponent.
Not just an opponent, but face or meet. It's always a problem or a difficulty. All right, you can come up against a real problem at work. You can come up against a big traffic jam that's going to slow you down. All right, it's always, you come up against something negative for sure, always.
Always negative. Okay.
Definitely. You can't come up against a winning lottery ticket. For example. Yeah, it won't work. Okay. Fierce or intense competition, the meaning, of course, Santiago.
Hard competition.
Yeah,
very difficult. Yeah.
Right. Very obviously very. We quite often use very extreme adjectives. Fierce or intense competition. Another common one is stiff competition. This is a very common collocation. He had stiff competition to make it to the finals.
Means the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Pretty much the same idea. Okay, and but I would say stiff competition is even more common. I don't know why it didn't make the list here. And okay, achieve their ambitions. All right, well, not just in sports, you achieve your ambitions. That's very common.
Even in your life, when you are...
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe even more so with your life, really. So you achieve your ambitions, you don't achieve your wishes, or you don't meet your ambitions, or find your ambitions. This is pretty standard expression. Okay. And we didn't see it here, but you can achieve a personal best. Sometimes they're satisfied if they just achieve a personal best. So not a world record, but their own personal best. Maybe they'll never get a world record, but their best. Okay, moving on. Yes.
Teacher, I have a question.
Sure.
A couple of questions.
Okay.
The first one, can I say they are sure to be faced by intense competition? Or this is wrong? I cannot say that.
They are sure to be faced with
intense competition.
Okay, they are sure to be usually faced with. Could be by. It could be either, actually. Yes, that is correct. That makes all perfect sense. Yes. Sounds very normal.
And the second one, can I say achieve their fulfillment, or fulfillment is like one word is enough? I'm not sure about it.
Okay, well that's a good, instead of it, fulfill their ambitions. You could say fulfill their ambitions. Actually, that one does collocate.
Okay.
Yeah, or you can fulfill your dreams.
Okay. And the last one is stiff competition. Can I say hardcore competition?
Say what again?
Hardcore.
Hardcore competition? Yeah, I like that. Yeah, there are definitely other extreme adjectives that will fit.
Okay.
Yeah. Hardcore competition. Yeah, that's good, actually. That's pretty good. Mustafa, you want to be a sports announcer? You know, sports announcers like to come up with their own little collocations to kind of set them apart from other sports announcers. So there you go, Mustafa, you're on your way. Okay, Constantine, can you read this sentence here?
Some sports people so desperately wants to win that they take drugs to enhance their performance.
Okay. All right. Strong collocation here. Desperately want something. Constantine, what does that mean? You desperately want.
Strong one. Strong.
Yes, very strong.
Strong.
Okay. Um, yes, that's it. And that's a very strong collocation. I was trying to think of alternatives, and I really can't. Okay. Enhance their performance. They take drugs. In fact, they call them perform. Do you know what they call drugs that athletes use, Constantine?
What? Repeat, please.
Do you know what they call drugs which are used by athletes?
Moment. Forget. I forget.
It's okay. Performance enhancing drugs. So there you go. That's what they're called. So obviously a strong collocation there. All right, you want to talk Lance Armstrong? You're talking about performance enhancing drugs. SASCHA. Okay, actually, I'll read this one. They will be discovered when they fail a drug test. Actually, this is strange. Also called doping. Thanks, Mustafa. Strange for me because Americans say a drug test, and there's never an S. British say a drugs test. A little difference there, British and American. I think you understand what a drug test is, testing for drugs. So if you fail a drug test, that's not good. If you pass a drug test, that's great. Okay, SASCHA, can you take over? We're going to talk football here explicitly. You can read the whole first paragraph, please.
Okay. You can play or have a football match game of football. It might be a home or an away match depending on whether you are playing on your team's home ground or not.
Okay. One note, Brits tend to say match a lot for these different types of games: cricket match, football match, rugby match. Americans pretty much stick to game. Baseball game, basketball game, hockey game, American sports. Pretty much that's, sometimes they interchange, but most regular Joe six-pack will use those two terms depending on where they're from. Okay. What does that mean, SASCHA? A home or away match, or home or away game?
Home if team plays in town where this team are training.
Yeah. Well,
away it's a different town.
Yeah. Yes and no. Strangely, because you said that, I just have to tell you, American football teams, okay, American football teams never train in the same city where they play, ever. American baseball teams, of course, have to go south because it's still winter when they start training, so they don't train where they play either. Actually, almost nobody in professional sports in America actually trains in the place where they play. Indoor sports, basketball they do, hockey they do, but outdoor sports they almost never do, strangely enough. Not that that's important, but it just occurred to me that that may sound a little odd to you, but it's very true. Okay. The team's home ground, fine. We have another expression in English. We could say home turf, and actually not just for sports. I could use it for talking about where I'm from. Okay, you're on my home turf, for example. Oopsie. Okay. Hopefully I didn't mess this up. I didn't. Okay. Or maybe I did. Let's see if we can make it through the class here before my PDF dies. Okay. Moving on. Sinya, can you read from the aim?
The aim is to score a goal.
Yeah, you can read one more.
Players may tackle an opponent and try to take possession of the ball.
Okay. Opponent, second syllable stress. Opponent.
Opponent.
That's good. All right. Okay, score a goal. What other verbs can you use with goal? In
To do?
football. Do a goal? No,
No.
definitely not.
Make?
Make a goal? For sure. Okay. Make a goal, score a goal. There may be some other ones more colorful, but those are the main ones. Okay, tackle an opponent. What does that mean in football?
Attack. Try to catch the ball.
Yeah, take the ball away from them.
Yes.
Take possession of the ball, as it says. Okay, right. In American football, of course, tackle an opponent is completely different. Do you know what that means? American football, tackle.
Yes, you just jump on the opponent to try to.
Yeah, that's probably what it looks like. In reality, they're not trying to just jump on them. They are trying to knock them over. The idea when you tackle in American football is to get them to touch both knees to the pavement. Well, to the turf, to the ground. So actually what you're trying to do is knock them upside down, knock them over. But yeah, okay, close enough. Okay, Mustafa, from this will lead.
If you tackle in an illegal way, you foul your opponent. This will lead to the referee blowing his whistle and an opponent taking a penalty or taking a free kick.
Okay. Foul, of course. A foul is not just in football, soccer, but fouls happen in many, many sports. Okay. Foul depends on the sport, can mean different things, but often it's for illegal contact of some sort. Right. Sasha, can you use intercept instead of tackle? That's very funny. For football or soccer, you kind of could. You intercept him, you're trying to cut him off or block him out, intercept him. It's not quite the same as tackle. Usually you intercept him, then you tackle him. You intercept him, you cut him off, and then you slide and try to slide and kick the ball away. That's the tackle part, the part where you're sliding. So it's not really the same. American football and interception is a completely different thing. So you could never use that, because to intercept means if you're the defensive team and you steal the ball, you catch the quarterback's pass from offense, so that would never work because it's a completely different concept. So that would be very confusing. I'm not sure if you're asking about soccer or American football, but okay. You foul your opponent. Mustafa, what verb would you use to talk about the player blank a foul?
Made.
Made a foul?
Yeah.
No.
Did the foul? Did?
No. Think crime. What verb do you use when somebody does a crime?
Commit.
Very good. Player committed a foul. Very good. All right. Player committed a foul. Oh, great. Oh, looks like my PDF just died on me. Okay. And I can't get it back. So maybe there's only like 3 minutes left. So anyway, what else do we see there? Okay, hang on. Oh, I have an idea. Alternate plan. Let me go to plan B. Wait a second. This will just take a second. Plan B. Backup plan.
The whistle.
I truly blowing his whistle. Okay. He blew the whistle. All right. All right. I was in American football. The referee threw the flag. So it's a different expression because it's very funny. American football, they actually take a flag out of their pocket and throw it. But blow the whistle can mean something else when it comes to sports. Any idea? Mustafa? Any idea?
End the game. End the game.
That's it.
So,
That's
yeah,
right. That's exactly right. Well, he blew the whistle. Game's over. Like that. Okay. All right. Hang on a second. Okay. Wait a minute.
Taking a penalty.
Taking a
A
penalty.
free kick.
Yeah. Hang on. I got it. I got a plan B here. Oh, what happened? There we go. All right. Take a penalty or take a free kick. Okay. The opponent takes a penalty to kick, takes a free kick in soccer. That's right. Okay, very good. All right, Santiago, last part here. If someone...
Okay, if someone isn't playing very well, the manager may decide to drop the player from the team or bring on a substitute. Both teams hope that they will have taken the lead by halftime.
Of course they do. Okay. And then, of course, you have, they don't even talk about yellow cards and red cards here. What's a yellow card, Santiago?
When a player committed a foul, the referee shows the yellow card or the red card.
That's right. So if he shows the yellow card, what happens?
With the yellow, it's like how to say that? It's if the player get I'm not sure, it's 3 yellow cards. He goes.
I think it's 2.
2. Okay, 2. He goes out of the field.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. A yellow card is a warning. Right.
Yeah.
And the red card means he's out. He has to go sit down.
He's already out.
He's done. He's ejected. In many sports, we use the term ejected. The player was ejected from the game. Like in basketball, in many sports actually, the referee can eject a player for whatever, for fouls or for whatever. If the player pulls his pants down or something. or does something horrible, fighting, and of course is always Off. You'll be sent. Sometimes in football, soccer, okay, the referee sent the player. Sent him to the locker room is a common expression. Okay, we're out of time, so thank you very much.